Okay, so this week we have a full moon in Gemini. And so Gemini moons love to talk things out, love to process, and love to use one of Gemini's biggest assets, which is curiosity. Now, not only that, Mercury is going direct this week, or it has actually went direct like 2 days ago. And so you might feel this like shift, like you want to move through things kind of quickly, but I will encourage you to be a slow and steady wins the race kind of energy. Little steps, let the clarity come. And so we are going to practice today inviting in curiosity and releasing criticism. Inviting in curiosity and releasing criticism. In my mind, criticism and curiosity are polarities to each other. It's hard for us to be critical when being curious. It's hard for us to be curious when we're being critical. So that's going to be what our focus is today. One more thing I wanted to say. This is the last full moon of 2025. And so if there's anything that you would like to leave in this year, this is a really beautiful full moon to intentionally let those things go. And again, with curiosity, not with criticism, to let them be and to create space for something new. And then we will actually have our new moon, and I'm going to be doing the live meeting ritual is actually going to be on the new moon this month because the new moon is very close to the winter solstice. And the winter solstice is kind of like a new moon within itself. So it's going to be really powerful. We're going to be doing some intention settings. But for now, before we call something in, it's like, before you buy a bunch of stuff, you want to like clean out your closet. We don't always do that, but it's a good idea to do it, right? Before you go grocery shopping, you want to like clean out your fridge. Like this is kind of the clean out the fridge time. So we're going to get started in a comfortable seat. I would suggest that you sit on something like a bolster. You will want 1 or 2 blocks for later today. I'm actually going to sit in a supported virasana. So I'm going to take my bolster this way. I'm going to bring my knees forward and sit back. Now, if you'd rather be in Sukhasana where your legs are crossed, that is totally fine. I just want you to feel upright. Just as a reminder, you want to have a little bit of your hips going back a little bit so that you can be upright. Feel your abdomen relax. If it feels comfortable and safe, you can close your eyes. And bring your attention into your own body. And I'm just going to warn y'all, there are people looking at gutters in my backyard, so you may or may not hear random people talking, but bring your attention back to yourself and back to the sound of my voice. And then rest your fingertips on your clavicle, your collarbone, and start to feel the expansion of your breath. Maybe tune into your heart center. If curiosity were to have a color, a shape, or a symbol, what would it be? Imagine that color, shape, and or symbol is in your heart center underneath your fingertips. As you inhale, we're going to expand your hands out to the side, palms facing up. Exhale, rest your hands on top of your head. bringing curiosity into your mind. Stay for a breath. Inhale, bring your arms out to the side. Exhale, bring your hands back to your heart, either inviting in curiosity into your heart, or if this is the place where the curiosity lives, maybe gathering some more. Stay for a breath. Inhale, bring your arms out to the side. Exhale, bring your hands onto your abdomen. Bring curiosity into your power center and into your digestion. Stay for a breath. Inhale, bring your arms out to the side. Exhale, hands onto your legs. Bringing curiosity into your bones, into your structure. Stay for a breath. So we're going to go through each of those places one more time, and then we'll move a little bit more. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, hands onto your head. Stay for a breath. Curiosity in your mind. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, hands onto your heart. Curiosity into your heart. Stay for a breath. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, hands onto your abdomen. Curiosity into your digestion, into your power. Stay for a breath. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, hands onto your legs. Curiosity into your bones and into your structure. Stay for a breath. And then we're going to find our way into a downward facing dog. So if you're in a virasana, you can just walk your hands forward, remove your prop, and unfold your legs. If you're in a sukhasana, just shift your body forward and again, unfold your legs. And take a few moments here to pedal your feet out, bending one knee, bending the other. Again, being curious about which leg maybe feels a little bit tighter, what that sensation is, bringing more blood flow into the back of your legs. And then as you inhale, lower your knees, lift your heart and your tail, cow. Exhale, hips to heels, arms stretch forward, child's pose. Inhale, pull your hands in, lift your heart and your tail, cow. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips up high, downward facing dog. We're going to repeat that a couple times. Inhale, lower your knees, lift your heart and your tail, cow. Exhale, hips to heels, arms stretch forward, child's. Inhale, pull your hands in, lift your heart and your tail, cow. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips up high, downward facing dog. 2 more rounds like that. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child's. Inhale, cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 more round like that. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child. Inhale, cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. So once you return back to down dog, pedal your feet out, bending one knee, bending the other. And maybe lift one leg, rolling out through your ankles. Maybe switch other side, rolling out through your ankles. And then walk your feet up towards your hands. Bend your knees, hold on to opposite elbows, relax your head and your neck. Maybe even bring your arms by your ears. 3 deep breaths here. And then shift your weight towards your heels. Keep your arms as they are. You're going to round in your spine. And then feed your head through your arms. Coming through. So that your head is in front of the back of your arms. And then reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Hold on to your right elbow with your left hand. And then reach over to the right. Look underneath your left armpit. 3 deep breaths. For 2. And for 1. Inhale, coming back to center, take your left hand onto your right hand onto your left elbow, straighten your left arm, reach over to the left, look underneath your right armpit for 3, for 2, and for 1. Inhale, coming back to center, reach both arms up, feel your heart lift just a little bit more, and then exhale, free your arms by your side. Good, roll your shoulders. So we're going to do a moon salutation for this full moon. Excuse me, Dookie. So standing at the top of your mat, find some little space between your feet. Inhale, reach your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, arms nice and wide to make space for your heart. Exhale, fold in, slight bend in your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. It's almost a cow back. Exhale, release your hands, step your right foot back, lower the right knee to the ground. Inhale, sweep your arms up, crescent pose. This is the moon part of the moon salutation. So as you exhale, you're going to tuck your right toes, your back toes. Bring your hands to your heart, straighten your left leg, fold in. Inhale, land your left foot, reach your arms back up. You can untuck your right toes, crescent pose. Exhale, take your hands to the ground, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, cow, lower your knees, lift your heart and your tail. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. For 2. And for 1. As you inhale, bring your right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Lower your left knee to the ground. Inhale, sweep your arms up, crescent pose. Tuck your left toes under, straighten your right leg, hands to your heart, fold in. Land your right foot, reach your arms back up, crescent pose. Exhale, hands down, step forward and fold forward. Bring your arms by your ears, strong back brings you all the way up to stand. Inhale. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, release your hands, step your left foot back this time. Lower your left knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms up, crescent pose. Tuck your left toes under, straighten your right leg, hands to your heart center, bow in. Land your right foot, inhale, sweep the arms back up. crescent pose. Exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, cow, lower your knees, lift your heart and your tail. Exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up high, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. For 2. I know, Dukkha. And for 1. As you inhale, bring your left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, step your left foot forward, lower your right knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms up, crescent pose. Tuck your right toes under, straighten your left leg, fold in. Inhale, land your left foot, reach your arms back up, crescent pose. Exhale, take your hands down, step forward, and fold forward. Inhale, arms by your ears, come all the way up to stand. We're going to do one more time on each side. Exhale, folding in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release your hands, step your right foot back, lower the right knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms up, crescent pose. Tuck your right toes under, straighten your left leg, fold in. Land your left foot, inhale, sweep the arms back up, crescent pose. Exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, cow, lower your knees, lift your heart and your tail. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. For 2. And for 1. Inhale, bring your right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, step the right foot forward, lower the left knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms up, crescent pose. Tuck your left toes under, straighten your right leg, hands to your heart, fold in. Inhale, land your right foot, reach the arms back up, crescent pose. Hands down, step forward and fold forward. Just got one more side. Inhale, arms by your ears, strong back, brings you all the way up to stand. Exhale, folding in. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Exhale, release your hands, step your left foot back. Lower the left knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Tuck your left toes under, straighten your right leg, hands to your heart, fold in. Land your right foot, bring your arms back up, crescent. Exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, cow, lower your knees, lift your heart and your tail. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Slight bend in your knees, lengthen your spine, relax the head and the neck. For 2. And for 1. Inhale, left leg goes up. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Lower the right knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms up, crescent pose. Tuck your right toes under, straighten your left leg, hands to your heart, bow in. Land your left foot, reach the arms back up, crescent. Exhale, hands down, step forward and fold forward. Inhale, arms by ears, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, arms by your side. So take a moment here. Talk about curiosity. Let's bring our fingertips back onto our clavicles. Tune back into your heart center. Does curiosity have a color? Does it have a shape? Does it have a texture? Can you bring your attention back to your own body and back to your own breath? And then you're going to grab your 2 blocks. So Place one on either side of your feet and then return to standing. Hands onto your hips. Maybe press your shoulders down. Feel your heart nice and wide. And then shift into your right foot. We're going to take a big step back with the left foot, coming into warrior one leg. So your foot's going to be at a 45-degree angle. Pull your right hip back and your left hip a little bit forward. As you inhale, you're going to reach your arms up, Virabhadrasana 1, warrior one. As you exhale, you're going to straighten your right leg, bring your hands onto your head, bringing that curiosity into your mind. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your left leg, hands onto your heart center, bringing curiosity into your heart. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your right leg, hands onto your heart center, or hand onto your abdomen, bringing curiosity into your power and digestion. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your right legs, fold in, hands onto your blocks. Curiosity into your support and your bones. We're going to repeat that whole thing 2 more times. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your right leg, hands on your head. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your right leg, hands onto your heart. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your right leg, hands onto your abdomen. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your right leg, folding in. We're going to do one more time. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your right leg, hands onto your head. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your right leg, hands onto your heart. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your right leg, hands onto your abdomen. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your right leg, hands onto the blocks. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. See if you can pull your right hip back and your left hip a little bit forward. Dukkha, come over here. Come over here. And then you're going to step your left foot forward and fold in. Inhale, come all the way back up to stand. Reach your arms up. And then exhale, bring your hands back onto your hips. And just notice how one side feels a little bit different than the other. And then you're going to shift into your left foot, take a big step back with your right foot. You're going to send your left leg back and your right hip a little bit forward, setting up for warrior one legs. Inhale, reach your arms up, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, straighten your left leg, hands onto your heart. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your left leg, hands onto your heart center. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your left leg, hands onto your abdomen. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your left leg, folding forward, hands onto your blocks. We're going to do that whole thing 2 more times. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your left leg, hands onto your head. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your left leg, hands onto your heart. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your left leg, hands onto your abdomen. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, straighten your left leg, folding in. one more round like this. Inhale, warrior one. Curiosity into your mind. Inhale, warrior one. Curiosity into your heart. Inhale, warrior one. Curiosity into your power. Inhale, warrior one. Curiosity into your bones. Stay here, 3 breaths. Maybe push the left hip back a little bit, the right hip a little bit forward. For 3. For 2. And for 1. Step your right foot to your left foot, fold in. Inhale, come all the way back up to stand. Reach your arms up. Exhale, hands back onto your hips. Do your legs feel the same? Or do they feel different? So to find our way to the floor, we're going to practice a squat, the Vinyasa variation of Utkatasana. So what I'm going to have you do is take the front end of your mat and roll it up about like a third or a quarter way up your mat. And then you're going to place your heels onto your mat. So your heels will be a little bit lifted. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, send your hips towards your heels, folding in. Inhale, bring your arms by your ears, lift your heart, come all the way back up to stand. So that was 1 round. We're going to do that 4 more times. Exhale, hips to heels, and then relax your arms down to stretch the back. Inhale, arms by your ears, lift your heart, come all the way back up to stand. 2 more like that. Exhale, hips to heels. Hold in. Inhale, arms by your ears, come all the way back up to stand. This last one, we're going to hold the squat. Exhale, hips to heels, fold in. Stay here for 3 deep breaths. For 2. And then you're going to find your way to sit down. So you can use your hands if you'd like. Sit your booty down, and then you can roll your mat forward. Beautiful. Okay, so you're going to send the feet forward, and we're going to do a little self massage for our hip. So you're going to bend your right knee, take your left hand, and pick your right foot up. So maybe your foot stays in your hand. Maybe you take your foot towards your inner elbow. Either way, you take your leg across your body, right hand to the ground, roll the hip out. Call this rolling out the dough. So while we're here, you're going to be really curious around where you feel more or less sensation. And also while you're here, I'm going to tell you what dukkha means. So the word dukkha, it means in Sanskrit and Pali Sanskrit. Pali Sanskrit is the language that we most hear within Buddhism. And that was more the language of the people. And Sanskrit was more the kind of priest class. The Brahmins would speak more Sanskrit, and that's what we do in yoga. But that's a story and a discussion for another day. But anyway, the word dukkha means suffering. And it's interesting because what it actually means is a bumpy ride. It refers to an axle in a wheel not quite fitting the wheel itself, and how it's just kind of like a bumpy ride. And if you're familiar with Buddhism at all, which I know some of you in this current room are, maybe some of you watching later will see, that's the first noble truth. Inherent in life is suffering. It's part of it. It's part of life. And we make it worse by wanting it to be different. And part of the discernment, find a spot that could use the most attention. You're going to stay there for three deep breaths. Part of the discernment that yoga teaches us is where to put our attention and when to do action, when to change it, right? Because sometimes we can be suffering, something can be uncomfortable, something can be painful. All right, come back up to center. Place your right foot to the inside of the left foot, left leg. So like a little tree pose. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Janu Shirshasana. So sometimes, something can be uncomfortable or painful or, suffering. And the practice is just being with the discomfort, right? So this is actually this practice with the workers and my dog is like such a beautiful practice in, okay, so my dog's crying, people are talking, I'm trying to figure out, can you guys hear them through the microphone? Because sometimes you can't, sometimes it's just my voice, sometimes you can't, I don't know. So I'm like, okay, how much is this distracting from the experience? How much is this, does it matter, right? So that's kind of like what's happening in my brain. And then when I really heard them talking, I said, you know what? Now is the time for me to make it different. And so I did. I made it different. I told them, oh, oops, we got to change it. And they're like, no problem. But then my dog got really upset by that. And then he felt trapped outside and he was really distressed. And so I had to get him inside, right? So that's kind of like the dukkha and the suffering of the like, that's kind of the more extreme we want to do it, an action behind it. And it's hard to discern those things. And the best way to handle dukkha is to embrace it. Start to walk yourself in. We're now going to rotate ourselves towards our bent right leg and then fold forward here. And that doesn't mean that we need to intentionally suffer. It's going to happen whether we want it to or not. But just to be like, yeah, this is a part of it. Things aren't going to be perfect. There's going to be outside experiences when we're trying to have a Zen moment. And by adding suffering to wanting it to be different, that's what we can control. We can't control all the external factors, but we can control our relationship to them and the discernment of when we put action into it or when we let it be. And it's not always going to be perfect. Sometimes it takes too long. Sometimes we act too quickly, and then we make changes from there. Okay, start to walk yourself in. Extend your right leg. Notice the difference. Bend your left knee. Take your right hand. Pick your left foot up. Maybe your foot stays in your hand. Maybe you take your foot towards your inner elbow. And then take your leg across your body. Either way, it doesn't matter what's holding your foot up. Left hand down, roll the hip out. And you might notice that one side feels more things than the other. You don't even really need to know why right now. That criticism of like, oh, this hurts more because of this reason, right? That's sometimes is useful, right? Because then you can maybe change your habits. But sometimes it's not. And that's when we try to invite in curiosity. Isn't it interesting that this part of my hip has more experience than the other one? That's something to remember. That's something to take note of for now. I don't need to know why. I don't need to blame myself. I don't need to blame someone else or some other circumstance. Right now, it's like this. And then returning to center. You're going to bring your left foot to the inside of the right leg. Rotate your torso towards your right leg. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding in. Now, I've had teachers that are no longer my teachers, like criticize that we named him Dukkha. It was kind of a joke because animals are in, from a Buddhist lens, like a type of hell realm, which sounds really bad. Um, but it's just like they kind of get stuck in these like kind of their animal brain, right? They don't always know how to pull themselves away from suffering. And pets, they're at our they don't have as much power as they would in other places in the wild, but they do have more comforts. Anyway, so we named him it as a little bit of a joke because dogs kind of live in a dukkha state, and because when you love something, that is also kind of suffering, right? You can love someone and they can annoy you. You can love someone and they can, you know, ruin something that you like. They can make it more challenging. And that is actually like that, again, discernment of like how to engage within that is an act of love. And I often think of in my relationship in healing my relationship to my body is treating her like I do a pet. Sometimes she acts in ways that I do not like. I'm in pain, something's uncomfortable, I'm not functioning the way I want to function, like all the things. Start to walk yourself up, rotate towards your left leg, and then fold back in. And I, again, can make that discernment of like, when do I put action towards something and when do I find patience with something and just wait it out. And it's so tricky. And I am so grateful every day for yoga practice because that's what yoga can help us do. It can help us to slow things down, to find curiosity, to find discernment, and to know that we're not going to do it perfectly and we're still going to try. 3 more breaths here. And then walk yourself up. Bend your right knee so your feet come together in a Baddha Konasana. Readjust your hips so you can sit upright. Right, clap your hands. Clap your hands 3 times. Then rub your hands together. So you're bringing energy from your body into the palms of your hands with friction. I want you to pull, like feel the heat that's rising between your palms. Rub a little bit faster and a little bit harder so it gets a little bit warmer. And then you're going to stop. Separate your hands just an inch away from each other. And then that's energy. You're going to morph that energy into a ball. Okay. So you are going to whisper something into this energy, some kind affirmation to your body, even when they create dukkha, even when they don't act the way that you want them to act, or look the way that you want them to look, or be the way that you want them to be. Say one kind, loving thing into this energy. It could be a thank you if you don't know what else to say. And then once you take that energy, you're going to place it onto your feet. Take a breath here. Inhale, glide your hands up towards your knees, roll your shoulders, lift your heart. Exhale, glide your hands down towards your feet, fold in. Inhale, glide your hands up towards your knees, roll your shoulders, lift your heart. Exhale, glide your hands down your legs towards your feet. We're going to do that 3 more times. Inhale, glide your hands up your knees, roll your shoulders, lift your heart. Exhale, glide your hands down your knees towards your feet. 2 more times. Inhale, glide your hands towards your knees, roll your shoulders, lift your heart. Exhale, glide your hands down towards your feet. Last one. Inhale, glide your hands towards your knees, roll your shoulders, lift your heart. Exhale, glide your hands down towards your feet. And then keep a hold of your feet. Scoot your hips in a little bit closer. And then you're going to roll back. And you can take your hold on to the outer edges of your feet. And we're just going to do some little windshield wipers. So extend your left leg to the left, pull it, keeping your right heel towards your hips, and then switch sides. Right leg to the right, left heel towards your hip. And then just continue to move and breathe in a way that just feels normal and natural for you, side to side. The breathing is natural. This movement may not feel natural, and that's okay. Maybe it doesn't. But all I mean is just breathe in a way that you don't have to overthink it, but you are breathing. A couple rounds like this. And then pull your knees in towards your chest. Release your feet to the ground. Rest your hands on your hip flexors. That's kind of where your hips kind of, angle towards your thighs. Just take a couple breaths here. Being curious on where you feel the sensation. And what the sensation even is. Inhale here. As you exhale, bring both knees to the right. Maybe stay for a breath. And keep your hands on your lower abdomen. Inhale back to center. Exhale, both knees to the left. Stay for a breath. Keeping both hands on your abdomen. We're going to repeat that a couple times. Inhale back to center. Exhale, both knees to the right. Stay for a breath. Inhale back to center. Exhale, both knees to the left. Stay for a breath. Inhale back to center. So just repeat this a couple times on your own. And keeping in mind that theme of both curiosity and of dukkha, what is it that you want to leave in this year? We have a lot of outer planets that have been retrograde, are going direct, starting honestly a new era, a new cycle. What's coming with you? And what are you leaving behind? This full moon is a really good opportunity to leave something behind. Finish the round that you're on, and then do one more round. And then returning to center, pull your knees in towards your chest and do one last posture, Apanasana, which does help us to release. So keeping a hold of your kneecaps as you inhale, bring your legs just a little bit away from your body. Exhale, let's do a shh as you pull your knees in towards your chest. Keep a hold of your kneecaps. Inhale, bring your legs away from the body. Exhale, shh. One more like that. Last one. And then release all the way down for Shavasana. You can, if you feel like you want to do a Baddha Konasana, bring the soles of the feet together, that's totally fine. You can also extend your legs long. You can also prop yourself up on a pillow or bolster, whatever you need to feel supported. Your body knows. They are your best co-conspirator. They've been with you since the moment you were born, and they are the only being that will be with you your entire life until you die. They remember everything. Even if they don't remember the context, they remember the feelings. And all they've ever wanted is for you to be safe and for you to thrive. So practicing being curious with them and listening to them is a beautiful way to heal your relationship to them. To take a couple deep breaths, inviting in prana, energy, life force back into your body. Maybe find some little movements in your fingers, in your feet, and in your face. Maybe extend your arms above your head in a big morning stretch. And then roll over to either side. And find the simplest path up to a comfortable seat. You can either keep your hands resting in your lap, or maybe take your left hand onto your heart and your right hand onto your left, or any other hand posture that feels good for you. We're going to seal off this practice by chanting the word peace 3 times in Sanskrit. We're going to do a big Om together, have a pause, and then chant the word Shanti. If you know it, I'd love for you to join. If not, just listen and you'll still get all the benefits. So deep breath in for Om. Om. Deep breath in for Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace to you, peace to your loved ones, peace to all beings everywhere without exception. Thank you for your time, your presence, and your practice. And thank you for being patient with me in my current situation.